Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristina Bak and I'm the author of the Khunda, and today is going to be a video on writing time tips. So my first tip is going to be when you sit down to write, you have to have a space, correct? So this right here, you can't see it behind me, this is my space. This is generally where I write. Now, for me, this space can change sometimes. This is generally where a lot of the writing and the editing and things like that happen. But some days I just don't feel up to this space. Some days I move. I have a really cushy carpet in the middle of my office floor that I will lay on or sit on. Cushy chair in the living room that if it's quiet in my house, I will go over there and curl up in the cushy chair. Generally with a blanket and a tea, so that's nice. But it's finding your space where you feel like you're ready to get comfortable and to get writing. Now, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're creating a space for you, not for anybody else. So it has to be something you enjoy, something you like, something that makes you want to go back to it more and more. So this office changed a lot because I kept coming in here and it was just dark and it was cut off and I didn't like the way it felt. So currently it is still quite a bit messy because we are getting ready for a garage sale. So there's crap everywhere. So right now it's a little bit messy, so I tend to scooch over to the couch or sit on the floor or something like that every once in a while just to kind of keep myself comfortable. But I created this space for me. So I didn't do this in one go either too. This was like over the span of a few months. And if you'll notice up here, these pictures that are on the walls are pictures that I've actually had. I've had this Tinkerbell one for a year since last year's Pinners Conference because these are the best posters and they're inspirational and I love them. This I got for Valentine's Day. This I got because I was like, I need a screen to edit on because that screen is a little small. The stand took me a couple months to get. There's things like that. I just kind of collected things over time and it's not something, like I said, you have to put together in one day. You can find a space that you like and over time it will start to become more and more your space. Move things around, try different positions with pieces and stuff like that. Try different colors, try posters, try cute little things that just make you happy. You also have to decide if this is gonna be something inside or outside. So I will say if you're gonna pick somewhere outside, make sure there's covering because not every day is going to be a pretty sunny day. It might be for that time, and that is when I do sometimes will write outside is because it's a very nice day and I can just sit out on my lawn chairs and prop my feet up and start typing. But then for those rainy days, you want to make sure if you're going to be outside most of the time, it's going to be something that's covered. That's also finding a space as to whether or not you're going to be at home or if you're going to be out and about. So it could be a cafe, it could be a bookstore, it could be the library, it could just be somewhere, you go to a cafe one day, you go to a bookstore the next day, anything like that. Tip number 2 is going to be setting the mood. So setting the mood could be how you feel, basically. It's going to be, kind of different times of day and just the way you're feeling. So I do know writers that write early in the morning, kind of not my thing, but some people do say that they write in the morning if they get up and just start writing, that it's the best time for them. For me, I gotta eat a little bit first, gotta get a cup of coffee, gotta feel, wake up just a little bit, and then I can sit down and write. So later in the morning, early afternoons are generally my best time. For someone else, it could be extremely late at night. My niece tends to do this actually. I've seen her write a lot before bed. She'll just sit there and she actually does it on her phone, which is another thing. She types on her phone. Don't know how she does that. Not a clue. But she does it, so apparently it works for her. Setting the mood could also be lighting. It could be candles. It could be florals. Anything like that. Anything to just kind of get you in that creative mindset. So I tend to like things very bright. If you can't tell, this part of my office, very bright. So that's what I tend to like, is the bright lights, airy, and it just makes me feel awake and alive. If something's dark, I could totally fall asleep on my desk at any moment. Number 3 is going to be a soundtrack. So you've heard me talk about this before. I use Spotify. I do have playlists on Spotify that are for different types of writing. So I have a sci-fi writing playlist, I have a calm writing playlist, and I have a fantasy writing playlist. And I will probably be adding onto those playlists and creating new ones as we go along. but that is, I turn that music on and just something inside me gets into that realm of writing for that type of genre in my writing. Another thing is, holy crap, how did I not flipping know about this? And I was so pissed off when I found it because I was like, how did nobody ever tell me this? There is a YouTube page that is specifically sound effects, ambient noises, things like that, that are Harry Potter themed. What the fuck? I didn't know about this. I found them and I lost my shit. And I was so excited because I'll put the screen, I'll put the full-size screen here, and it's normally the Ravenclaw common room is what I tend to stick with. I really love those sounds. And I'll put it on this big screen here, and that'll help me with writing and editing and things like that. And I'm blown away about how I did not know about these things. And I found them and it's perfect because I have it on that screen, I'm editing on this screen. It just works, people. Another thing to know is if you like quiet, or if you like having white noise in the background, or if you like having chatter in the background. So some people do write in cafes and they just love the random background noises of the cafe, and it just helps them write. For me, it distracts me like all hell because I'll be listening to their conversation. I'll be like, oh, hey, that's a nice shirt. Ooh, that coffee looks good. Doesn't work for me. I'm all kinds of distractions, so I have to have the quiet stuff. But some people, it totally works for. Same thing with bookstores. Same thing with going outside. Nature sounds do really work for me. So when I'm sitting in my backyard writing or editing, or if I'm sitting, like if we've gone on vacation and I'm sitting outside, that nature sound, just the background noise in nature, really calms me down and does help me write. I just can't do it in cafes, people. Tip number 4 is your time frame. So kind of know when you're more creative. Some people are extremely creative at night. When I was in my early 20s, I was a night owl and I was up to all hours creating random different things, or being decorative, or being, you know, just creative in general. That worked for me at 20-something years old. Mid-30s, not working for me anymore. So I'm actually more of a go to bed early, wake up early, kind of get like my coffee and stuff going, and then start writing. So that middle of the day is generally perfect for me. You also have to know about how long writing is for you. So for some people, they're super creative in that first hour, and so they can just go for an hour and be completely creative, and then once that hour hits, they're just, all right, I'm done. Can't create anymore. So knowing your time frame as well. Some people love to do 20 to 25 minute increments. So they're called sprints. You do, 20, 25 minutes sprints. You just type it all out. You take a 10-minute break, come back to another 20-minute sprint. It's kind of like working out, but writing, right? So doing things like that really works for some people. For me, I'm one of those people that I can't take the 5-minute break in between 20 minutes because I'd be driving myself nuts the entire 5 minutes going, but I needed to finish that. Another good tip is going to be to set a timer. So if you say you want to work up to being able to write for an hour straight, start with 10 minutes, write for 10 minutes, set a timer, once the timer goes off, stop writing for a second, go up to 20 minutes, things like that. So you kind of work up to an hour, and setting a timer does help. So it just kind of jolts you out of that writing process, and you can go, whoa, okay, I gotta go get a coffee, or I gotta go walk a block or something like that. Tip number 5, and this is the most important tip ever. Number 5 is going to be just do it. That's right, you're just gonna have to write. So my space wasn't perfect. It's still not perfect. I still have stuff I have to put on the walls. I've still got to fix that. I've still got to clean things up. I know this, and like I said, my space is cluttered right now because I am prepping for a garage sale, so it's kind of all messy here. But your surroundings may not be perfect. Your surroundings and your setting may not be perfect, but you're still gonna have to find time to sit down and write. It's not gonna write itself, people. I mean, computers are pretty good, but they're not that good. So those are my 5 tips on your writing time and helping you just get into your writing time and making that your space and your creative world. I hope these tips really helped you. Don't forget to check me out at KristinaBakBooks.com. I hope you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.